Alrighty, let's go ahead and use our TI graphing calculator to find a percentile when we have a normal distribution. Now remember before I told you that to find percentiles you would use Excel because our calculator doesn't find percentiles, and it doesn't for just some random data set. But we can find percentiles when we have a normal distribution. And a percentile is a data value such that whatever percent of the data lies below it. Now remember the problem we're working on. We have men's heights that are normally distributed with a mean of 69 inches and a standard deviation of 2.8 inches. How tall should a doorway be if we want it to be tall enough for all but the tallest 5% of men? Now we saw in the last slide that 5%, well, we're not trying to find the 5th percentile because 5% of men are above this magic data value. We want the 95th percentile. We want the height such that 95% of men's heights are below the number that we find. So again, normal distribution, go to our distribution button, second, vars. This time we are not calculating a probability, so we don't want a distribution function. Number 2 is not going to help us. We want the inverse normal function, the invNorm. So right there at number 3. Now here, we want the area below our data value. We want the whatever percentile as a decimal. So 95% of the men are below this height. That's the 95th percentile, which this is the same as 0.95 for the area that we want to have shaded in. For this problem, our mean was 69.0 inches and our standard deviation was 2.8 inches. So now we are going to go ahead and paste this onto our main screen. Again, if your calculator does not prompt you, inverse norm, parentheses, the percentile as a decimal, or the area below the data value we are seeking, the mean, the standard deviation. Go ahead and hit enter. And when we look back at the normal curve that we had sketched and we put in our mean and our standard deviation above and below and said, okay, we want to have only 5% of the area on the top chunk of the curve and 95% below, well, yeah, 73.6 inches sure does look like the height where 95% of men are below 73.6 inches and the tallest 5% of men are above 73.6 inches. All right, again, if you have any questions, please let me know.